Welcome to the online captains meeting for the Dodgeball Spring Intramural Tournament. Injury and lost stolen items. Injury. All participants play at their own risk. Any cost incurred due to injury while participating in intramurals will be the responsibility of the injured party. Lost and stolen items. Intramural staff assumes no responsibility for items that are damaged, lost, or stolen during intramural activities. We advise you not to leave any valuables unattended while participating. Payment. A $20 intramural semester fee will be required by every individual before intramural participation will be granted. You may pay in cash or check in Cushing Office 112 or pay with a debit or credit card at www.unk.edu/intramurals. Payments must be made by 2 p.m. the day of the tournament. Eligibility. To be considered eligible, one must have completed intramural semester payment, provide a valid UNK ID to an official or supervisor prior to the game, and be on the team roster by 2 p.m. the day of the tournament. Rosters. If players are not on the roster by 2 p.m. the day of the tournament or by 2 p.m. on Friday for the weekend tournament, they will not be eligible to play. Captains. Make sure you confirm or deny all player requests on imleagues.com. Defaults and forfeits. If your team is unable to meet all eligibility requirements, you must contact the intramural office by 2 p.m. on the day of the tournament or 2 p.m. on Friday for the weekend tournament to receive a default. 2 defaults equal 1 forfeit. Teams will not make it into the finals if they have 2 forfeits or a sportsmanship rating average of less than 2.5. 2 forfeits or 3 defaults equal removal from the tournament. Sportsmanship ratings. 4 points equal excellent sporting behavior. This means that the players fully cooperate with the officials and accept their rules and callings. The captain has full control over their teammates. The team members and spectators are respectful to both the opponents and the officials and are encouraging of each other's efforts. At no time was the team disrespectful towards participants or officials. 3.5 points equal good sporting behavior. This means that the team members displayed positive sporting behavior overall for the game. They also are genuinely respectful toward the opponents and officials, with the exception of a few minor incidents which may not warrant a warning from the game officials or supervisors. Team members may occasionally show dissent to the officials' calls. 3 points equal acceptable sporting behavior. Team members and spectators are generally respectful of opponents and officials and have not been assessed any penalties for unsporting behavior. Teams are more persistent and distant to calls or show occasional unsporting behavior toward opponents. Any team receiving a verbal warning from officials shall receive no higher than a 3. 2 points equal sporting behavior needs improvement. Team members or spectators are consistently disrespectful towards officials or opponents throughout the contest. Captain exhibits minor control over self or teammates and spectators. Teams receiving any ejections, multiple warnings, or any penalties for unsporting behavior shall receive no higher than a 2. Any team receiving a 2 or lower may request an explanation for rating by contacting the intramural graduate assistants. Anytime a team is given a rating of 2 or lower, the intramural staff giving the rating will document reasoning. 1 point equals unacceptable sporting behavior. This means that multiple warnings and/or penalties for unsporting behavior were given. Despite the warnings from the staff, the team shows little or no control or regards for the sporting behavior. Repeated acts of unsporting behavior towards staff and/or opponents occurs. Unsporting behavior is consistent throughout the game, and the ejected players are uncooperative in leaving the playing area in a timely manner. Teams involved in physical altercation or threatening behavior leading to an ejection shall receive no higher than a 1. To view more about the sportsmanship ratings, visit imleagues.com. All teams begin with a 3.0 sportsmanship rating. From there, you must earn a higher rating. Teams may view their sportsmanship ratings on IM Leagues the day after their game is played. Jerseys. Each team player must supply their own uniform or jersey. Jersey tops must be the same color as teammates. No tape. Numbers must be visible on the front and/or back of the top with marker or screen print. Team requirements. For men's and women's league, a regular game will consist of 7-on-7. Teams must have a minimum of 5 eligible players to participate. Co-rec requirements. Teams will consist of 7 players, 3 males and 4 females, or 4 males and 3 females. There must be at least 6 participants checked in to avoid a forfeit. In this case, the team must consist of 3 males and 3 females to avoid a forfeit loss. Women are able to throw from the outside of the opponent's inner 3-point line at all times. Please refer to the diagram below for the court restrictions for co-rec. Females can attack to the 3-point line of the opponent's side, and males can attack to the half-court line. Equipment and location. No jewelry is permitted. Clothes are considered part of the player. Any cast or hard braces must be covered. All games will be played in the Hyper Gym. Games will be played on Fridays 6 to 9, pending on the team's totals. Pre-game. Captains' meetings will be conducted 5 minutes prior to the scheduled match time. Minimum amount of players must be checked in 5 minutes after scheduled game to avoid a forfeit. Game rules. The match will consist of a best-of-5 games. Upon winning 3 games by any one team, the match will be ruled over. Game duration will be a 5-minute running clock. To win a game, the team with the most players standing as time expires will win, or a team must eliminate every participant on the opponent's team. 6 balls will be used to start the game. They are placed at the half-court line. All players must begin with both feet behind the baseline on their respective half. Play begins at the sound of the whistle. After the whistle, players may retrieve the balls from mid-court, but the ball is not live and cannot be played until it is brought back behind the attack line, which is the 10-foot line on the volleyball court. A team member may only retrieve 1 ball at a time, but can retrieve all balls. If a team false starts, they forfeit 1 ball to the other team. Repeat for each infraction. Players are considered out when they are hit by the ball below the neck by an opposing team member with a live ball. A player that is hit above the shoulders as a result of ducking is still out. A ball becomes dead after it hits anything, including the ground, the player, the wall, the ceiling, another ball, the official, etc. A player that is hit above the shoulders by a high-thrown ball is not out and the thrower is out. The exception is if a throw contacts a player above the shoulders while the dodging player is attempting to evade the throw, there is no foul and the dodging player is out. If a live airborne ball is caught by an opposing player. If a live thrown ball is deflected and caught by the player that deflected the ball. If they leave the playing area, the exception, players may leave and enter through the end line to retrieve balls. Players may use a ball in hand to deflect balls thrown at him or her. If the ball being used to deflect a shot is dislodged by a thrown ball and becomes depossessed by the blocking player is out. If this happens, the person catching the ball may intentionally drop their ball without being called out. Players must leave the court when knocked out. Knocked out players will form a line on the sideline and will re-enter in the order they were knocked out in the event a ball is caught by a teammate. Knocked out players are not allowed to retrieve balls for teammates. Live ball. Balls are only live when thrown from within the playing area, the basketball court. If a player has possession of a ball when knocked out, he or she may give it to a teammate. Stalling. A team in possession of all balls for more than 5 seconds will be penalized with a violation. The referees will stop the clock and the balls will be split evenly, after which the officials will restart the clock. 1 minute rule. For men's and women's league, with 1 minute left in each game, players may enter opponent's territory but must stay outside of the opponent's inner three-point line. Overtime. If after 5 minutes have elapsed and teams have equal numbers remaining, sudden death overtime will be called. Sudden death will continue until one player from either team is considered out. Overtime rules. The official will stop play and reset all balls at center court. Only remaining players may play in sudden death. No substitutions. Open rush will take place. All balls must be brought behind the attack line to be live. Players may enter opponent's territory but must stay outside of the opponent's inner three-point line. Play until the first player is eliminated. If players were eliminated in a near simultaneous play, officials will determine who was eliminated first. If official determines eliminations were simultaneous, players will replay sudden death overtime. Officials' discretion. Players are to use the honor system to determine if a player is out or not. Officials' duties are to include any responsibilities stated above and intervening when disputes cannot be settled. Players abusing the honor system are subject to ejection for the rest of the match. Officials' discretions are final. Contact information. The Director of Campus Recreation is Scott Fransk. Graduate assistants include Courtney Spahn and Connor Singhassen. The office is in Cushing 112 with a phone number of 308-865-8676 and an email address at unkintramurals@unk.edu. Also, iamleagues.com and Facebook. By continuing on and taking the quiz and creating a team, you are verifying that you have watched the video and understand all rules, policies, and procedures for dodgeball. If you have any questions, contact the intramural office at the contact information provided in the previous slide. Thank you.